Have you ever really thought about what powers your digital bank? We swipe, we tap, we move money around the world in an instant right from our phones. But behind that incredibly smooth fintech experience, there's a massive, and I mean massive, and growing demand for actual physical energy. It's this hidden connection that could really reshape our entire digital future. And it all starts with the bank that lives in your pocket. So, for this explainer, we're diving deep into a really fascinating report from the analysts over at Augusta Global Insights. They're the ones tracking this powerful collision of these two seemingly separate global trends. Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the new face of banking. Then, we'll talk about how attention is becoming the real currency. After that, we're going to connect that digital world to its very real physical cost, explore the global thirst for energy, and then we'll tie it all together. All right, let's jump right in. We're starting with a revolution that's happening right on our phones. I mean, the very idea of what a bank is, it's being completely rewritten as we speak. And at the absolute center of this whole transformation is the neobank. Now, put simply, it's a fintech company that lives entirely on your phone. We're talking no physical branches, no waiting in long lines, just a slick, powerful app that honestly usually offers lower fees and a way better user experience. And you have to understand, this is a truly global movement. You've got giants like Revolut all across Europe, Nubank, which has completely changed the game in Latin America, and then you have players like SoFi, Chime, and Robinhood that are just fundamentally reshaping finance in the US. These guys, they're the new establishment. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The disruption isn't just about the tech. The whole battleground for banking itself is shifting. It's not just about who has the most money in their vaults anymore. No, it's about who commands the most attention. Which leads us to a name I am willing to bet you did not expect to see in a banking explainer. Mr. Beast. Yeah, the world's biggest YouTuber. What on earth could he possibly have to do with the world of finance? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything. This quote from the report is the absolute key to understanding this new world. It's not about who has the biggest vault anymore. It's about who has the biggest audience. It has become a game of distribution. Now look at this, because this chart really breaks down the genius of what happened when Mr. Beast got involved with the fintech app Step. It's this incredible synergy, right? Step brings all the expensive, complicated, highly regulated banking stuff, FDIC insurance, compliance, the payment rails that actually move money around. And what does Mr. Beast bring? A massive, built-in audience of over 450 million followers. That means his cost to get a new customer is, as you can see, basically zero. So, the takeaway here is perfectly captured by this analyst's quote. This isn't just some new marketing trick. It's a total flip of the model. Creators with huge audiences aren't just advertising for banks anymore. They're basically buying the financial plumbing to become the bank themselves. And this is a huge but. This entire revolution, this incredible shift in how we handle our money, it doesn't just happen in some magical digital cloud. It has a very real, very physical consequence. And that really brings us to the core of this whole thing. So, that brings us to the hidden price tag. How do we actually power this financial and technological revolution? I mean, think about it. Every single tap, every transfer, every algorithm runs through a massive, power-hungry data center somewhere. The explosive growth of all this digital finance, now supercharged by AI and just our increasingly online lives, is creating a demand for electricity like we have never seen before. And the sheer scale of this new hunger for energy is, well, it's staggering. This isn't just an engineering challenge, it is actively reshaping global power dynamics. And this chart just lays out the new reality perfectly. According to the report, China now generates a jaw-dropping 40% more electricity than the United States and the entire European Union combined. For the last decade, they've been building the energy capacity not just for what they need today, but for the demands of tomorrow's digital world. Okay, so at the exact same moment that our digital demand for power is exploding, a huge study from the International Energy Agency points to a very serious problem on the supply side. Basically, the rate at which our existing oil and gas fields are drying up is actually speeding up. This is a big deal. It means we're burning through our current energy sources faster than ever before. So let's just dig into the key findings for a second. The IA found that production from these big conventional fields, once they peak, just falls off a cliff. And this creates what they call a dangerous investment trap. The energy industry now has to spend over $500 billion every single year just to stand still, just to replace the supply that's being lost, never mind trying to meet all this new demand from the digital economy. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the inescapable connection. The worlds of digital finance, high tech, and raw energy production, they aren't separate industries anymore. They are now fundamentally and probably permanently intertwined. As one analyst from the report puts it so well, the link between using energy and our modern way of life, well, it's not a theory to be debated anymore. It's a hard fact. All of our digital progress, all of this financial innovation, it all relies on a steady, massive, and growing supply of energy. So that leaves us with this one final, really critical question. As our financial lives, our social lives, our entire world becomes more and more digital, who is actually in the best position to provide the raw power that makes all of it possible? The future of finance might be digital, but its foundation will always, always be physical. And the race to power that future, well, it's just getting started.